Ole Bull State Park, Monday, September 12th, 2022. These are the two far end sites. These are the only two sites to my right. Looks like they're vacant all week. My site that I always pick, Site 57. Down there through the pine trees is the only other camper here. There's just two of us right now for most of the week. All the way down through the campground. The bathhouse. This is the nearest site to my left. There's no reservation there for the rest of the week. I'm going to do a little walk around. Extra parking lot here on the right. And this is the loop around this side, loop 1, this side of the campground. Of course, back to my site there. And the stream, Kettle Creek, is just right on the other side of those trees. You can see that tree line, that's where the creek is. I'm going to head around the loop this way. This young family here, I put them somewhere around 26 to 28, something like that. Josh and Morgan talked to them this morning. They have a little girl. She looks like she's about 2 years old, 3 years old, something like that. They're here all week, so they're pulling out the same day I am. I talked to him this morning. He asked me if I saw the bear last night, which I did not. I was sound asleep, but he said the bear went right past my camp, right past my site. Actually tripped one of my motion lights. I'm surprised, they usually wake me up. I looked for some tracks, but I didn't find any. All the campgrounds campsites here in the inside of this loop are very close. And they're like one right after the other stacked in here. And they all have electric hookup. Now the ones on the outside of the loop, they're spaced out a little bit more. They're more for tenting, and they do not have electric hookup. And this one right here, Site 65, is the one that I used a couple times last year. It's okay. If I couldn't get Site 57, I could possibly set up here, but it would be tight with the size of my tent to fit in here. And it gets a little bit swampy right there. You can see there's some straw thrown in here because it was all muddy from all the rain. And then the sites just continue on down this way. Looks like we got one camper coming in there maybe today, but all the rest of these sites are vacant for the week. That young family I mentioned earlier, Josh and Morgan, they're from Western Michigan. and they were looking for a secluded place. He was very surprised that there were so many open campsites here and so few campers. Down on this end of the campground, it's starting to sprinkle again. Down on this end of the campground is the kids' fishing area. It's about 300-yard stretch from the bridge to the lower bridge to the dam, the spillway, where kids 12 and under and disabled people are able to fish. Sand volleyball court. Small playground for the children down here. There's horseshoe pits on this side and on the other side of the creek as well. I'll walk across that way. There are hiking trails all over and around and through the mountains up here to some of the overlooks. Little play area for the kids. Now there are two sites on this end. I've thought about possibly sometime trying to see if I'd have to measure to see if my tent would fit down here though. The overall site's big enough, it's finding a level enough spot to put the tent up. And this is the beginning of some of the trails here that go up to the main overlook and where the foundation of Ole Bull's castle still is, and I looked at that before, a monument to Ole Bull here. Needs a little weed maintenance. Back in there's a sign and there's a spring coming out of the ground. That sign says 1852. Yes, 1852, but there's a spring coming out of the ground that early settlers, this is where they got their water, their drinking water. A sign indicating a number of the trails that are here from this point, and then they split off all over the place. There's literally hundreds of miles of trails to hike on. Some are well marked, some are a little more primitive. This one, as you can see, starts out basically a road. It narrows down to a path about 200 yards up into the woods. One camper set up here. Compared to the other times I was up this year, it's very quiet. There's a car coming. I'm going to let him pass. Just get a video here of the stream a little bit. This is the drive over bridge. This is the only bridge to get on this side. When I came up in earlier in the year, was it May, the water was going over this bridge. It was flood stage. It was just skimming over this. This starts the kids section all the way up. So you see the spillway up there. Oh, I don't know if that'll come out on there or not, but there was a fish that just jumped there. This is the kids fishing area. This is looking upstream. I have seen very few fish in the water. From what I'm told, there was a huge fish kill over the summer because of the drought and the high temperature of the water and predators. Easy pickings for the hawks, coon, eagles. The fish couldn't get away. They had no place to go. This is looking downstream. I'll walk over this way. I know this is going to be a captivating family video. On this side is where all of the picnic pavilions are that you can use. If there's no sign that it's reserved, they're open and available. I don't know, there's maybe 4, 5, or 6 of them here on this side. I'll keep walking up this way. Now, over in the distance there is the log cabin that's available for renting if you can get on the list. It's pretty much booked almost year-round. And this goes over to the main office. The other loop, second loop that is pet-friendly, is off to the left. And then just on the other side of the trees up there is the main road, 144. So there are a number of grills, charcoal grills that are around, picnic tables all over. And they have a small amphitheater here, stage and a screen. Over the summer they do presentations, and they also show movies. They have movies on the weekends, some weekends. Around this way. And then this is the main pavilion. All the times I've been up here, I've never seen anyone in the main pavilion here using it. I'm going this way. Lots of picnic tables, big fireplace. Very nice in here. I'm surprised people don't use it more often. Huge beams on this pavilion. Another horseshoe pit area. Another playground area on this side. And of course the spillway here, just below the swimming area. Little concrete platform here that you can get a little closer to the spillway, and usually there are a lot of fish in here, but I'm only seeing a few. There's a couple of palominos. I don't know if they're going to come out on the video or not, but they're in the protected area. You can't fish right here. From here all the way up to the other side of the swimming area, there's another rope, and that's a no fishing area. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the video or not, but there's a couple of decent sized golden trout. I see at least 3. I haven't seen many fish rising at all in the 2 days I've been here. This, of course, is the swimming area, the beach area, the bathhouse. And all the way off in the distance, you can see my trailer out there, and also my tent, a little bit of my tent, so it's on the other side. And again, this is just walking on the opposite bank. Now you can get a better view of my tent up there through the trees. And this has been long enough. I won't walk the whole way up through there, but that's looking upstream. And at times when I fish from the campground, I just walk in just above there. Oh, there's a couple fish rising there. I just walk in where you see the water starting to riffle. Oh, there's a guy fishing there. There's another camping area where you see that little shed like that. That actually is a that's an outhouse setup, and on the other side there's big open fields for group camping, and there's a little dirt road you can go up about a quarter of a mile, and that's about as far as you can drive. And of course the camp road here goes up about another quarter mile, turns to the left and joins up with the main road, Route 144. And we're going to head back down this way. Where that white van is parked, there's some bulletin boards with some different information of activities and events going on in the area, sites to see, stuff like that. The neighbors that I have this week, Josh and Morgan, we're going up to Cherry Springs sometime today, probably tonight or tomorrow night, stargazing. But with the cloud cover, they weren't too hopeful that they were going to see much. Go back over the bridge here, the walking bridge. So these are all the different roads and trails that I take walks on throughout the day. I think this is about noon, and it's about the third walk I've taken around the different roads and trails. I'll make my way over here to the footbridge, crosses over the kids' fishing section, and go up the other side of the loop back to my site. Alright, now this is looking downstream. That's the drive-over bridge, that's the vehicle bridge that I crossed over. And again, this is the kids fishing section, and normally you can just see trout all over the place in here, but I'm hard-pressed to see a half a dozen. And it's not unusual at times to see 60, 70, 80, 100 or more in this stretch of water, because they keep it pretty well stocked for the kids. And then they also have a kids fishing derby at some time during the summer. I think that's in June. Looking back upstream again to the spillway. And crossing back over the bridge to the other side here. All right. I don't think any of the sites have water hookup. There's a couple of places where there's some spigots to get water. All the outside sites on this loop have electric hookup, but I don't think they have water. Now this is going up the opposite side. I came down this road. See that other camper up there, and I'm on the other side. And this is the site where the people left jumbo shrimp and hot dogs in the fire ring. Very overcast today, calling for chance of thunderstorms this afternoon and into tonight. Tomorrow's supposed to be partly cloudy with breaks of sunshine, less chance of rain. And the rest of the week looks fairly decent. We'll go around the swimming area here. It's the bathhouse on the right. And all the way up there you can see my tent trailer. So out of the 50 campsites on this side, right now there are 2 of us, not counting the guy at the far end down by the bridge. And it looks like there's 2 reservation tags up of people coming in. So there will be 4 of us here, maybe for a couple of days. This is the swimming area from this side. Which is open from Memorial Day to Labor Day, so it's closed for now. And eventually they're going to take down part of the spillway, and they'll take down all the ropes and buoys, and it'll just look like a normal part of the creek. Now, in normal times, when there hasn't been a drought, there are fish rising in here because this is no fishing, so they're kind of protected in this section, and they're rising all the time throughout the day. I sat here for an hour yesterday, a cup of coffee, and I saw maybe a half a dozen in an hour. Now, right across is, I don't know if it'll come out in the video or not, but there's a standing dead tree up there. Almost every time I come up here, at some point during the week, sometimes 2 or 3 times, there's an eagle that sits right up on the top of that standing dead tree. Haven't seen him yet. And we'll head back up to my campsite. There's a big open area over here. So apparently the bear came through this open area last night and passed right near my tent because my motion light went off at the front of my tent. My neighbor here saw the light going off, and he looked out and said he saw the bear crossing. Every site has a post marker and then a reservation tag. So this person that's coming is going to leave Saturday, September 17th. So they're coming today and they'll be here for the week. So I'll have 2 neighbors. Well, that wraps up my tour of the campground for now. I'd like to get a video of the log cabin down there. I'm back where I started half an hour ago. And I have a dove who's just going to sit there. So evidently, from what the neighbor said, because I have a motion light right hanging there. And then I have one at the side there. And I have another one over at this side and one in the back. So all around the perimeter of the tent, I have the motion lights. From what the neighbor said is the bear came from down towards the bathhouse, which is just down there to the right. There's the bathhouse. Came up through this wooded area here. And there's a little bank there right in front of me. Drops into that level spot under the trees. And came up the bank and kind of crossed right through here. Tripped off my light, but I didn't see it. And then he headed up in this direction through the other campsites and into the woods. So maybe tonight I'll see him. All right, gonna wrap it up. Oh, I want to point out one other thing. Right there's the firewood the Lord provided for me. Got it stacked on this side and the other side. That's from all the people who left in a hurry because of the rain and left their firewood behind. So I didn't have to go buy any. More than enough for the week. I'll probably leave it for somebody else, what I don't use.